Hey pharmacists, thanks for joining me for this upcoming interview. Before we get into that, I wanted to pose a question to you. Do you think potentially as a profession that we have self-assigned an image that keeps us inside of a box? Is there something about our self-imposed limitations that have created a situation where pharmacists lack confidence to go do their own niche pharmacy or their own passion within pharmacy on their own? I'm not saying by any means that pharmacists as individuals lack personal confidence. And every pharmacist I know is meticulous. They are competent and highly skilled people. They are very financially savvy, and they truly care about the patients they serve. These are all qualities that make for a good business person, an entrepreneur. Pharmacists often have to be very creative with coming up for solutions. We're always putting out fires in the pharmacy, and we often look at the big picture. These are such good qualities for being a great business person. So what is it about our profession that perhaps is keeping us from being all of our potential that we could be? So let's explore that idea. I would love to hear your comments below. Enjoy the interview. Hey sports pharmacists, it's Ashley with the International Sports Pharmacists Network. I brought Dr. Jamie Wilkey back today so we can talk about something that each of us know really well, being a pharmacist in a niche and starting our own businesses. And we wanted to talk specifically today about confidence and how do pharmacists develop the confidence? And so first, Dr. Wilkey, welcome.
Thank you, Ashley. I'm so excited to be here and talk about this really interesting topic.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that I went through. It's definitely a journey for me. Why do you think it is that pharmacists with so much training don't have the confidence? Is there something that you can pinpoint, something that comes to mind?
I think it's several things. One, I don't think we learn anything about promoting yourself in pharmacy school. We're always in a supportive role. And so within pharmacy school, we don't ever learn about being an entrepreneur, about being business minded and how to show your value. And so like we never learn that. And in many traditional roles, we aren't leading the way and charging for our services. We just give out our information for free. And so when we do something new and charge accordingly, it can feel scary, intimidating, just because we've never done it before and few in our profession are doing anything like this.
Right. Yeah, I agree with those points. From my perspective, being in sports pharmacy, a lot of times there's just a lack of awareness. And so people don't even know that this niche exists. But also I find that in my past experience in talking to people, they tend to oversimplify it. There's a lot that you need to know about sports pharmacy. And then once they start to dip in their toe, they realize how much there is, and that just scares them off. But I always tell pharmacists that you have enough education and training to be able to recognize more about drugs than any other person on the athlete support team. And so, adding your services is really a bonus. And oftentimes we don't look at how much value we can contribute just based on our knowledge.
Until you take action, you just don't know. And it's so easy to shut down good ideas before you even start. So action is the cure to worry and confidence. Even if you're not confident, you just start anyway and build it as you go.
Yeah, early in my career, I decided to dress for the part I wanted to become. And so I had my mindset on becoming the clinical coordinator. So I dressed as the clinical coordinator, So, it's a mindset, isn't it?
It truly is. Your mindset is your reality. And so how you dress and act and think and speak shows what your actions and what your future will be.
Yeah. I've almost completed the pharmacogenomics certification course, and going through that, when I was beginning it just felt so overwhelming and so complex. And I was thinking of the comparison between pharmacogenomics and sports pharmacy. And in pharmacogenomics, I wonder if oftentimes people overestimate the difficulty of that compared to, you know, what I was just talking about in sports pharmacy, where they tend to underestimate or oversimplify the knowledge that you would need for sports pharmacy. But in either setting, pharmacists are the best person to be the medication expert. That's what we're trained for. Yeah, and then secondly, do you have 2 practical points that people could use as pharmacists for risk reduction if they're trying to get into their own business or follow their own niche?
Yes. So I think creating your own niche on the side, especially while you have a full-time job, is risk reduction in itself. Most people tell me, oh, it's so risky to start a business. But to me, it's risky to have all your eggs in one basket and have your employer in absolute control of your future. For me, it's less risk, especially with consulting. There's not a lot of overhead costs. Less risk to build that out on my own time and space and coming from a place from joy and intrigue, rather than, I just lost my job, now I have to make money, I'm going to build my own business and I need to make X amount of dollars right away. Then you're coming from a place of stress. When you build something on the side, especially when you're using consulting in your brain as the service, it's so fun and there's no pressure or stress yet. It's just developing it in a time and place that works for you and your community.
Yeah, you know, I had heard long ago that if you wake up in the morning and you want to do this, if you want to go back to your project, then you've begun to find your passion. And, you know, a lot of days I don't have that. I don't wake up wanting to do this, but some days I really do. And so I really grab onto those days and put all my effort into that.
Some days I wake up and I feel scared about what I have to do that day because I keep getting into more and more big things. And I do it anyway, and it's scared and I feel scared and I do it anyway. And being strategic with your time really helps you get that momentum and get some results.
My 2 practical points are really planning and understand your tools and resources. You know, if you do really good about planning and asking the right questions and knowing who's in your network, who to reach out to when you do get at a sticking point, that really helps you move forward. And for me, recognizing sometimes that I knew more than somebody who I thought was brilliant in the field really made it feel synergistic. You know, obviously that proved my value to me if they were learning something from me.
Waiting on the sidelines just gives you excuses and deflates your momentum.
Yeah. And if you don't use this knowledge, you do tend to lose it. So maybe this last one is a rhetorical question a little bit, but why do pharmacists tend to undervalue their cognitive services?
That's a good question, because many of us have doctorate degrees. Those who don't have decades of experience, I don't know for sure why we're such an insecure profession, other than we're not going out and marketing those services and showing our value. We're just in traditionally more of a reactive role, and people come to us and then we help. But pharmacy is changing, and to truly be a pharmacist of the future, we have to meet those needs on a personal level and help in ways we haven't before. So it might seem scary and it might seem intimidating, but that's truly where the valuable careers are in the future.
Yeah. You know, oftentimes as pharmacists, we're anticipating the needs of patients and, you know, anticipating how a doctor is going to respond to our question. And when we're in that mode of anticipation, it should be a good thing. Like, I'm giving a valuable, you know, suggestion, a recommendation that might change a patient's outcome. And instead, I feel like we've been programmed to think we're like the police. Like, hey, doctor, you prescribed wrong and you need to change. But instead, you know, we need to look at this as working together to, you know, work together towards the best patient outcome because we have the expertise. Yeah, I appreciate your time today, and I look forward to meeting with you again. I think these are always valuable, kind of exploring these areas of pharmacy that I know anyone could benefit from.
Yes, absolutely. Always good to talk with you, Ashley.
Thank you very much. And for those of you watching, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share with anybody who you think might benefit. And visit sportspharmacist.org for more information. Thank you.